Now this is a periodic table, but why do we call it the periodic table and how is it arranged? Today we're going to be looking at groups and periods. Firstly, elements in the periodic table are grouped based off of their properties. These elements here all behave in a very similar way, so they were grouped together. We call them group 1. If we look at the very top, that's the group number. So group 1 on the periodic table is the first column. The second column also contains elements which are grouped together by the way they behave. They have similar properties. So we grouped them together and we call them group 2. The groups continue over here. Group 3 contains these elements. These elements are grouped together because their properties are similar. And so on. We have group 4 is the next column. Group 5 is the next. Group 6 and group 7. We finish with group 0. Group 0 is the last column on the periodic table. Now you don't need to know about why it's called group 0 for now. We'll learn that later. All you need to remember is that groups are columns on the periodic table and the number of the group is given at the top of the periodic table. First group is the first column, second group is the second column, and so on. But why is it called the periodic table? Well, elements' properties repeat themselves periodically. For instance, if we move across from lithium to neon, the element's properties change. But after neon, the properties revert to those similar to lithium. So sodium is similar to lithium. And if we were to move all the way across the periodic table again to argon, after argon, the next element, potassium, its properties repeat those of sodium and lithium. So the element's properties periodically repeat themselves, which is why we call it the periodic table. And the periods are also numbered. The first period is the first row of the periodic table, hydrogen and helium. That's the first period. The second period is from lithium to neon, the second period. What's important to remember is even though there are no elements here, when you're trying to determine which period an element is in, you must include these blank spaces. So for instance, phosphorus looks like it's only 2 elements down, but we include this first period where hydrogen and helium live. So phosphorus is actually in period 3. 1, 2, 3. So the best way to remember this on your own periodic table is to number the periods at the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that way, if someone were to ask you, for instance, which element is in group 4, period 4, you could move across to group 4 and then go down to period 4. Group 4, period 4 is germanium.